friends. We're here. We're live. We're ready to go. We're kind of ready to go. We're halfway ready to go. We're partially here and partially ready to go. As I went to set up for, a fill-in match tonight, because our original match got rescheduled, all the matches were starting an hour sooner than expected. So it ended up with a little bit of a slapdash start, and I apologize for that. Hey, you know what? All things considering, look at our timing. Look at that. Boom. I mean, all things considered, let's go. Let's go. We're here. Like, timing couldn't be better. We are an expert, so they're going to be doing all the picks and bans here at the top of the series, including hero bans. While they're doing that, let's just take a quick look. Jurassic and Villain sitting right on top of each other. Both of them coming in 7-4, entering the back half of week 6. Yeah, I mean, they're the only two teams sitting at 7-4, so it feels like this interesting little middle spot, and whoever wins this match is kind of separate themselves from the rest of the pack here beneath them, and really kind of solidify a spot there in top 10, pushing for top 8. It's Jurassic's second season in the league. First season we're in advanced. How did we do in advance? We did pretty good. You went 12-2, fourth place in both regular season and in the postseason. I mean, good enough to move up to expert. And I mean, started off super strong, right? Started off 6-1 there. Look at that. But I mean, your series drops are all to teams that are above you. And you're able to take a win over Wizard Cats here yesterday. That is a huge dub. Yeah, the matches they've lost are to Spark, Heatwave, Artemis. What we say, was it Artemis and Helios? Yeah, Artemis and Helios. The 4 teams to beat Jurassic are all in top 5. There you go. Billy, aw, meow and stuff. All right, let's take a look at Villain's strength of schedule. How have they been looking? This is also their second season in the league. I believe it was also an advanced. Yeah, it was also an advanced for season 3. So these two teams have kind of come up together here, right? Yeah, these are two teams that worked their way up through advance alongside Wizard Cats. Another team that kind of got promoted here between season 3 and season 4 coming into 2025. Teams that have kind of stepped up here in the expert division, and all 3 of these teams are doing well. So it's kind of like, Villains. I feel like Villains, Jurassic, and Wizard Cats are kind of part of the same graduating class, if you would, is the way that feels to me. Very similar vibe. Second place finish overall, so a better finish regular season than their counterparts in Jurassic over on the other side tonight, but didn't do as well in postseason. So as such, very similar story between these two teams. We did never take a look. We looked at some history. Whoops, too far. We looked at some history, but we didn't look at. I wanted to look at some strength of schedule for Hive My Villains. Map 5 will be a Havana pick if we need that. That's going to be Jurassic choosing that one. So we were talking about Jurassic losses have all been to top tier teams. Yeah, I mean, this is similar. I mean, this is very, very similar. Alberta Uni, though, is the one exception there. Alberta Uni is the one exception. Let's go take a look at our bands here before we get into map 1. We saw Samoa was the pick by Jurassic. It was Nepal banned out from Villains. We've got Maga banned out from Jurassic and Kiriko banned out from the Villains. All right, we got everybody in. We're ready to kick off this Wednesday night matchup. All right, there we go. Sigma Comp's coming out here for Jurassic. Ambivalent, definitely one to keep an eye on this Sojourn. Been a standout every single time we've gotten Jurassic on stream. Been a while since we've seen Villains. Keep a close eye on Clash on the other side, but it's really Jambon who's always been a standout from my memory from this squad. This tank can be a tour de force, but it's Overclock coming up with first blood here in this series, picking up a kill on Nakani and taking a massive chunk of healing out of this composition for, well, villains to have any kind of leg to stand on. That's going to be a quick retreat. Don't get much leg in that fight. It's a good opening pick there from Overclocked. I mean, can't do much better than find the Juno out of the backline right out the gate. You know, he's going to make a swap. So we're into a Pharah here. Both teams running the double speed backline. So both teams Colosseo Juno. It's like a coastal approach, or should I say a beachside approach. Here out of villains. They go right to bridge though. See if they can isolate the Lucio. Like the move from Jambon down low. Yep, right there to cut off Braun James. They try to come back in. That is a quick flux though. Discipline got that online so fast. Villains did not expect that. I know I certainly didn't. Oh, the bow dance and the bow bongo are both so good. Those are both so good. One of Trash Panda's friends did that for me. She didn't charge me anything at all. Like it was so affordable. I think they're so adorable. Which is good because, you know, I'm a pretty small streamer here, all right? So it worked. It worked really well. I was very pleased. Woman already tossed it from Villains here over the bridge. They're going to end up dropping down out of it, though, and rotating back to the point. At least Jambon does, who switched to a right heart, by the way. I got distracted by Bo's cuteness. And lost sight of this right heart. Now blocked off, completely isolated from the point by this Molten Core. Comes screaming back in, though, in a fight Overclocked. Jambon has returned to the fight. We got a couple of OCs thrown into this, speaking of Overclocked. Clash with 16 health. Scoots out to find the Mega, and Villains grab some control here for the first time today. Whoa, that is a point-blank barrage out of Nino. Honestly, lucky they didn't kill themselves with that. Discipline was trying to push forward through Jambon, but with Nino going down on the flank, it's kind of wiped their off angle off the map here. So they're forced to just kind of slow their roll for a minute. Nino still peppering down this left side. Very much on lane control duty at the moment. This one has come in with yet another Flux. Flash immediately picked up out of the sky. No chance to even hit the ground. Jambon about half health as they retreat in around the corner out of the Disruptor shot. 90% towards that Shatter. I think Discipline's expecting. You can see not throwing their own shield out. I know that's what I do when I own Sigma. I know there's a Shatter coming. You do not throw out that shield. You know, the moment you do, that Ryan's going to try to get around it. Discipline plays the mind games beautifully there. Able to maintain on top. 97%. Is there anybody to touch? There you go. Tracer back onto the point from Nino with the recall. Crumb scoots all the way across, trying to get a position to get back on, and they've got both corners covered. See if they can get Jambon back into this fight. There's the Shatter down. Big slam. Discipline hits the dirt. Into the respawn counter you go, but it is still a +1 for Jurassic on this point. Clash dies in the corner. Jambon with a big pin in, trying to find something. Needs to play in their own orbital here. We'll see if the enemy wants to oblige. Overclock does so. Tried to go hammer to axe. I mean, it would have been hammer to hammer, but Jambon's in the cool, like, Chinese New Year skin. Villains got control of the point through all this, so it does afford them a little bit of room to work, kind of step off the point a bit. They chase some of these kills. You can see Nino on the outside working against Braun, James, and Discipline, who swapped to a ball. Crumb has the sound barrier for this next fight. Overclock going to invest this Molten Core right out the gate. Crumb hit 3 with that sound barrier. Braun James hit all 5 with theirs. Overclock's gonna pick up a kill. Braun James finds one as well, and Jurassic come roaring back on to this point. It's a 99-99 flip for them here in the final moment. Crumb does a couple of cartwheels. I give you a 10. Coconuts go to Jurassic. All right, I gave it an 8.5. Didn't stick the landing. Discipline actually staying in the wrecking ball. Coming back in here, and Jambot moves over into a Sigma. Said, hey, that Sig doesn't look like a half bad idea. We'll give that a go. Smack's in a bit of trouble. Ambivalent's going to go down. Crumb picks that up. I think he's going to go on the chase here. Yeah, absolutely goes looking for Smacks in that back line. Braun James with the peel. Smack's still a bit low. Shot lands. Smacks is very low. So Jambon able to keep both supports out of this fight while Minnow cleans up on the flank. Discipline just struggling to get any significant amount of damage done. Just doesn't have enough help in this fight. Cap goes over to Villains. Smacks, what you did over here? Cranky guy. Who's the cranky guy? Overclocked on the objective, kind of forcing a flip here. Jurassic had pushed forward, pursuing some kills. It ended up being a bit of the flip of the objective. One where Jambon finds themselves completely mismatched and isolated on this objective. And a much better second approach. They're out of Jurassic. Cora, Nino, and the defensive turret thrown down as well. You see, just valuing protecting this side of the map, help give that the support somewhere to work. That was a cool little move there for that pile drive. Nice piece of tech. Just getting a little corner bounce, little wall bounce there. Sound barrier in for Broad James. Connie throws in the orbital ray. Let's see how Jambon pushes all the way forward to pick out the Venture. And this fight feels very broken. Oh, I love that turret placement. That's nasty. Oh, Nino hit that one from downtown. You heard Broad James on the outside. Oof. And a disgusting little point-blank headshot onto Overclock. Nino found first pick on this map and continues to be a problem here for Jurassic. 84% on the board for Villains as they look to force this round 3. Send us on over to Volcano. All right, Bivlet, let's see what you got. Let's see what this OC could do. Ooh, little high ground position. I always forget you can go up here, to be perfectly honest.
This ends now.
Didn't quite work out. A little too isolated. Very easy there for Jurassic just kind of fall back. Oh, Clashes gets right in Biblin's face. Lines that one up beautifully for the slide shot. Moves up, has got Smacks down low. Smacks is going to fall. Overclock the last bastion of hope here with this tectonic shock, but just not able to find anything with it. Jambon, imagine, had the shield up. Very difficult to get around Sigma with that ultimate. Good clap back here from Villains. We're headed to Volcano. Oh, I love the Maestro skin. Underrated Sigma skin. Oh, no. I was muted that whole time? Oh. Heartbroken indeed, Ram Rabbit. It was the best casting I've ever done.
This ends now.
I'm still getting over some kind of sickness. So I had a coughing fit, so I muted for it. And I got right back into the action and forgot to unmute. Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. Look at that. Got me all flustered. I didn't even get my points in or nothing. Oh, no. I can't believe I did that. Some stats there from map. You know what? Honestly, it's probably the best this stream has been in months. Very, very close map. Discipline at 27 and 6. Tied for fewest deaths with Jambon. Both only have 6 deaths. Both very similar in kills. 3,000 more damage roughly there for Discipline. Very, very close map. All right, it's going to be Eichenwalde here for map number 2. It was Numbani banned out by Jurassic. We are headed into a villain's map pick. We're repeating bans. Hey. Thank you. Yes, please behave. Yes, looks like we're repeating bans all the way until map 5. Pro streamer, y'all. Pro streamer. We're just waiting on one of the players getting here. We're getting to map 2. Quick look at our schedule for the rest of the week. We're gonna... Well, Dildux Red got rescheduled, so that match isn't happening tomorrow. That match is actually happening, like, right now. I believe that's what that invite is I just got. So I have no idea what I'm going to do. I got to get some NA Master matches lined up for you over the next couple days. Both your NA matches have gotten rescheduled since we made this. But you know what? We're into map 2 here. Oh, that is the wrong button. Hi. Discipline back into the Junker Queen. Here for this defense. Similar compositions we saw on the previous map. Colosseo, Juno backlines, Soj, and Genji's. Overclocked. All right, go find that pick on and then now. And Overclock, I will say, was had the least damage. You know, as far as just raw damage numbers, had the least impact of any of the 4 DPS players there in map 1. So kind of looking for Overclock to step up and get more involved here. Now, the scoreboard definitely lies. So Don't put too much stock in that, but keeping an eye on it just to see if it's a trend as this series goes on. Speed ring disengage. Ooh, looks to be an ambush down on Clash. Oh, well played. Great call out. Recognizing the isolated Sojourn there in the bottom left-hand side. And speed ring used in an immediate ambush there to find that Sojourn first pick. But here comes Neno with the dash through. Good placement. Able to kind of slide back on that rooftop so they immediately fall back into a safe position. But there's the chase. There's no escaping the wrath of discipline. Then off the Genji goes into the Pharah. Just pouring rockets down on that side. Look, recognizing that Jurassic are trying to use the house as a bit of a safety hole, and just gonna dump as many rockets in there they can. Send the Ramatra in there. Punches a pummeling. This has gotten messy. It's starting a bit of a do-si-do here around the central archway. Both teams kind of fell back to their respective corners, down a player. Jamon low on health, still pushing it fiercely, recognizing an opportunity. It's going to be a two-player rampage. They're out of discipline. Sound barrier is good, though. Still, this one's going to try to fight it out. Jamon tosses in the annihilation, low on health. Sound barrier invested here from the defense of Jurassic. Orbital Ray to keep Jambon alive and help him win that fight. Nano throwing in the rockets from above as well. Late kills from the defense. Trying to even this out, but Ambivalence will get picked. Clash finds the last 2 kills necessary to get this cap. Defense heading up to that high ground position. Always interesting to me how teams approach point B. Right now, it's just Crumb and Jambon or play a little cart duty. They're going to sneak this cart as far as they can, force the defense to make a drop. Discipline will eventually go down. Overclock thrown in from Clash. Overclock with the blade. He's already taken a decent amount of damage there, and will get finished off before they can take anybody down. The speed rush now coming in with Overclock out of the picture. Villains are trying to get aggressive, see if they can push up, claim this high ground. They're going to run Jurassic all the way up and out off the high ground, all the way to bridge. Overclock has made it back into this fight. Is he pushing? Leaping up with the shot. Oh, that was pretty. Doesn't eventually get brought down, but I think that's enough for this defense to be able to stabilize. A pick on a Crumb would have been it for sure. Broad James going to try to chase it out. Can't land it. Smacks will pick up Neno, though. There's the Carnage. Oh, a nice knife. It can't hit the shot. There's the fadeaway. Ooh, gets ramjaxed with the barrage, but still, I think this defense is going to win the fight. I will say, I mean, Connie has a tendency for showing up. Both of our Junos have a tendency for showing up in the kill feed when I least expect it, you know? And Juno just looks like such a sweet, innocent hero. You don't expect him to do any damage. All Juno's just about healing and keeping the team alive. No, not these Junos. These Junos just have blood in their eyes? Something like that. A viciousness I'm not used to seeing from Junos. Speaking of, Connie with an overclock here. March across the bridge. Oh, that is way late. That is way late. Not ideal. Connie does end up vesting the, oh, yeah, I guess the orbital was just to get across the bridge. Like, there was nothing spent out of villains during that actual final fight. With a $1:30 on the clock, you can sure use the sound barrier right now if you're this defense. Keep an eye on Crumb in the back line and drop theirs and try to finish off this attack. Overclock from Clash. Oh, and the fadeaway onto Smacks. But Smacks gets the death from the grave. A posthumous wish out of Smacks. The torpedo. Even the odds. There's that sound barrier I was talking about, though. Coming to Jambon. Has got the annihilation. Going to much damage to anybody that's close. This blade from Overclocked, I think, is just going to get absolutely nothing. Rampage just to hit Jambon. I will say the Rampage is enough to keep Discipline alive. Get a lot of sustain off the back of that. You do have that Carnage healing. I mean, Discipline is hanging on here, buying time. Ambivalence come back on a Bastion. Well, was back on a Bastion. Now it's just a pile of scrap. Good boot for Braun James. And, was that Jambon went flying through the air? Oh, but Discipline's finally down. The unkillable Junker Queen finally felled, and that's the cap. No changes compositionally. Oh, good stick. Knife lands, but the whole team is there to peel. And whoo, once again, Clash is there. Two quick, beautiful openers out of Clash and sending a immediate message to the attacking team in Jurassic. Jurassic tried to be hyper aggressive there right out of the gate. And Clash punishes them for it, finding that vulnerable underbelly. Then up playing bodyguard on the house here as this one comes swinging through. Shout used just as the Nemesis form is popped. Good timing there on the cooldowns. Pulse bomb in the back does land, and Clash is going to pick up 2 through all of this. Despite some good damage onto these supports out of Discipline, it's not going to amount to much in the end. Back to the drawing board here for Jurassic. Dude, this one is so good with these knives. That's pretty monstrous. Oh, catches Clash with the carnage. I didn't think that was going to land. And look at that knife even landed as well. So the aggression finally pays off. 3rd time's the charm here for Jurassic. God, just good Junker Queen play is so fun to watch. Oh, good pull. They got to clash off the high ground, but they do catch that ledge. Immediately moves over, knowing Discipline's going to be pressuring these stairs. But there's a lot of red outlines here at the top of the stairs, and a lone Discipline down at the bottom. Brock James coming to help out, and does manage to get Discipline out, and Discipline moves around and finds Nino on the flank. I can't believe Discipline got out of there in one piece, much less able to pick up a kill on the way out. Unreal. Now one step away from threatening this precious high ground. Overclock has a blade up on top. Orbital Rays thrown on the stairs for both of our teams. Slide out from Clash, who's kind of been the X factor here for this defense thus far. Crumb able to hold that high ground. Discipline drop it down. Nino finds Braun James on the way out. And there's Clash with a pick. Flexecution, I agree. These villains are quite talented. I'd have been very impressed if you had landed that knife. That's an overclock out of Clash. Drop it down this left-hand stairwell, find Smacks. Smacks has just been under so much duress. Well, the Clash had to drop into the just terrible spot. The whole defense commits on this, though. Everybody pushes up to the door. You know, one person, you know, overcommits, it's a feed. The whole team overcommits, it's a strategy. That wasn't really overcommitting, but I think the point is sound. Once again, Discipline is going to try to drive Nino off of this point. This time, the drop down from Jambon will include an annihilation, but the last rampage from Discipline was enormous. It was able to get a good fight win and get point A, but Braun James down, not ideal. Overclock will get picked on the rotation. Discipline, no choice but to try to just run up top, give it a can, which ends up being Clash, but that is the reset. A clever vortex there from Jambon will get them the credit on that, but they already had their ultimate, so. Nino giving chase on this rotation. Clash is going to pick it up. Discipline hits two with the rampage, and Crumb is going to die, but Clash is going to find another one. As both Clash and Nino just tail that rotation in. Following like a dog chasing their own tail. Oh no, and the stagger on to Smacks. Once again, it's Clash opening up with a kill onto Smacks. I mean, time and time again. It feels like, I mean, second verse, same as the first. Smacks has struggled to stay alive through these fights here on point B. Not able to make the rotations, not able to get in and disrupt this high ground. Every attempt here out of Jurassic has just been thwarted, no matter which way they try to go, whether left stairs, right stairs. Now it's just up the gut. The decision has been made for him, courtesy of this overtime. Orbital Ray thrown right on top of Jambon. Jambon's going to chase Smacks. Smacks is down again. Braun James not able to get the sound barrier up in time. Crumbs has there for the fight, and it's going to be a Clash. Overclock as the nail in the coffin. The villains close out Eichenwalde, and we'll take a 2-0 lead in the series. Well, I was just double checking that invite was not for us. No, that's the master game. That's the Dilducks game. That is ours as we headed to Colosseo. Let's see. Let me get you some stats. Oh my goodness. There's some stats for you, friends. Let's talk about Overclocked getting involved in there a bit more, and it's still Overclock's still feeling a little quiet. 13 deaths, 7,000 damage. The least of the 4 DPS players. Clash, I mean, hot. Had, most deaths on the team, but, 43 elims, 13.4k damage. Over 3k more than Ambivalent on the other side. Who's been an impressive talent every time we've seen Ambivalent on the battlefield. So, I think it just speaks to the kind of game Clash is having here tonight. No ban here on push. Colosseo is a Jurassic map pick as they look to start their reverse sweep. We've seen no subs and no changes in our hero bans either. So both teams are sticking with the same bans for the first 4 maps. We do get a change in hero bans when we get into map 5. If we need that map 5, which obviously Jurassic fans are hoping for right now. They're hoping we get to see those bans change in the 5th and final decider map. But you know what? That feels like it is way ahead of us right now. First things first. It's map 3 at Colosseo. Yeah, they're paused. Yeah, I think the entire Overwatch servers just crashed.
Many minutes later.
Oh my god, Ambivalent's here. I'm ecstatic to be here. This is when I'm so hungry. Oh. Where were we? I can't take this match seriously anymore. All right, let's lock back in here. Oh my goodness. Teams come back, same compositions? Yeah, same compositions. Actually, Discipline was playing the Zarya. Wait a minute. Discipline was at a Zarya. So Discipline's come back out on the Junker Queen now. And then Jambon had moved through a couple of things. Was it a Winston at one point? I think I'd actually gone into the Ram there at the very end. I don't know. It feels like forever ago. Get out of here with the Twitter plugs. I mean, you know, we're just having a wild time here on this Wednesday night. Discipline, you're not you when you're hungry. You're not yourself when you're hungry. You're just out here on a tear. There's that Winston swap out of Jambon. Smack's trying to get in there to back up. Smack's just barely able to avoid Disaster, but Crumb comes in. Well, I guess if Crumb's name was Disaster, then it was not avoided. That was a crap joke. Fight went out of villains here. Just went off the JQ. Direct counter to the Winston. Gonna play right up close and personal here on the corner. You see a shot land from Ambivalent. I believe that landed on a Clash or Connie, one of the two. Oh, but Clash is able to punish the pursuit that comes in down low. Now it's just overclocked by themselves. Clash and Connie are able to deal with that. That's gonna be a lead going over to Hive Mind Village. Whoops. The Nano Clash just ignores Discipline altogether. Goes jumping onto the other side. Orbital Ray had been tossed in, but it looked like Jurassic weren't able to really play in it. They wanted to play on the high ground as the Orbital got away from them. They do not benefit enough from that healing, and it's going to be a fight win and a checkpoint picked up here from Hive Mind Villains. Now with Beat Blade combo to work with and a Primal Rage, enabling Jambon to get very aggressive here. Smax has gone off of the Juno on over to an Ana of their own. There's going to be the Sound Barrier and the Dragon Blade, both invested in. 1/, 2/, 3/ down on the Smax. Neana ends up back in spawn one way or the other. Sound Barrier just barely saves Discipline out here in the corner. Blade up from overclock doesn't last. Didn't have much health to work with in the first place. Jambon finished off what remained. Villains now looking to make short work of what remains of Colosseo here. After a very long pause. Jurassic came out with some fire at them, but have since seemed to be waning here a little bit. Nice pickup on Takati. Makes 2 for that overclock there from Ambivalent. I mean, still lots of time left in the bank. So, good stop there. Make sure that this map doesn't end prematurely. Discipline hiding for this rampage. Staying crouched so they're not making any noise. Connie coming up on this Nano Boost. Needs to stay alive. Cannot. Overclock gets the kill. Tried to hit the sleep on the rampage. Just couldn't quite land the flick. Crumb with 1 health. Will not make it back into the cover. Another good fight win here as Jurassic puts up back-to-back. Should be good enough for the checkpoint. You can see Nano setting up in case they want to do a quick retake. Not able to stage in time to prevent the checkpoint, so you're just going to take their time with this. Sniffed out, out of position overclock, but Nano Boost thrown in on to Disciplines. They go in to find Connie out of that backline. Now returning to try to help at the front, where Smax was in a lot of trouble. Smax got double teamed on the low ground. Nano with a double dash through, gets behind Discipline. Gets the gong of death here for Villains. They give up the checkpoint, but still hold a 55-meter lead. Jambon dies 1% away from getting that Primal Rage online. Discipline is taking a lot of damage on this front side. Nano comes through with the dash. Nano still dancing around here on this point. He's going to cross the gap using the deflect to try to hunt down Braun James. Moves up to the high ground, but Ambivalent is there playing bodyguard, making it very difficult to get in. And that clean shot onto Clash is enough to send the Villains at least back inside the arches. Nano working in on a flank from the other side, comes in with the blade. Sound Barrier invested in. Sleep Dart misses, but there is a Sound Barrier available for Broad James. Fitting this off. Still Nano stays on their target, able to take Smax down. 2-1 advantage here to Villains in this fight. Exacerbated there by Jambon. Clean up here at the end. Nano will get 3. there of that engagement. And this bot is going to round the cloverleaf all the way back up to the overpass. Close spots now available for the two that fell in that fight, although I think they had already spawned, to be honest. Ambivalent overclock once again on the precipice of defeat. Jambon pops the primal rage. There's a dash in from Nino. Jambon got purpled. Still trying to press the issue here. At 61 health, overclock will find the dash and discipline will find the kill. Jurassic find themselves with control of TS1, but only 2 minutes left on the clock. Rampage from Discipline hits 2. Nice yank in on the Clash, but look at that peel. Connie and Crumb doing so much damage through the regenerative healing of that Rampage. Nano boost on Overclock. Look at the timing of that. Overclock was so low on health. The Nano boost comes in just in the nick of time. They got to bail on that kill on Akani, grab the health pack, come back in, respecting what Clash can do on that off angle. But Overclock still has this target marked, and Connie ends up the victim of a slash here from Overclocked. Jurassic are back on the march. Oh, 3 seconds, 3 seconds on the dash. No, can't quite get it. Blade is out. Neno's gonna hunt down Smacks. And with 41 seconds remaining, Villains winning this fight might have just been enough. I think Jurassic really needed to win that one to get close enough to make this one. I don't know. Now I was gonna say to make it competitive, but it's already a super competitive map. But it feels like it might have just slipped between their fingers there. I mean, still, it's not done. An opportunity in this fight with an overclock in the pocket of Ambivalent. Bron James with the sound barrier. A patient approach. Discipline on the front line. Smack's taking a nap. Love the patient play here out of Jurassic. Although they're given time for Connie to get this nano boost up. And that could just be the end of this attack. Clash is going to get hit with the purple. And building with the overclock, sound barrier has been invested and overclock's already gone down. It's Jambon getting that nano boost as the sound barrier fades here from Villains. But they've got the picks. And Villain trying to play on the outside will get picked off. And Villains will clean it up here in the 3-0. GG's in the chat. Discipline, you can now go enjoy your dinner. I don't know. Villains might be full. It felt like they just ate. All right. Hey, I appreciate y'all's patience through that extended break. Obviously, we had the server crash and all that going on. I'm glad they got it done. You know, I would have completely understood. In fact, I agree with what I said earlier. That's probably the smart plan to just reschedule since the servers are acting so funky. But you know what? I'm glad we got it done. You know what? Let's not leave this book open. You know, we're able to shut this story. You know, put a nice little cap here on this narrative in this chapter, with two parallels of two teams that kind of coming through the same graduating class out of advanced into expert division. Both teams identical in the standings coming into this match, both 7-4 as we herald back to, nearly 2 hours ago. And I mean, it felt like Jurassic were just kind of starting to get some momentum back, right? it felt like, I mean, genuinely Jurassic had the lead, had the momentum there in our first run through a Colosseo. So, I mean, truly ashamed the way it turned out for Jurassic fans out there, just with the timing on the server crash. But yeah, you know, villains are able to adapt. They stay patient, and they do get the 3-0 here today. They'll move up to 8-4 on the season. Dropping to 7-5. I mean, Jurassic still. I mean, I don't think it's going to hurt their standings all that much. We'll see what happens with, you know, these few teams below them. But thank you all so much for hanging out. We're just going to go ahead and GG it there. I really appreciate everybody sticking through the long pause. Appreciate your patience. But that's all I got for you for tonight. Quick look at schedule. We got Quick taking on Incendia tomorrow for your Master Thursday. We come back for EMEA. Obviously, the Dildux Rad match got played tonight. So all of our 8A matches here in the back half of the week got rescheduled. I'll figure something fun out for tomorrow. But have a wonderful night, friends. Be kind to each other. Be awesome humans. And I'll see you back here for more FACEIT League tomorrow. All right, bye, friends.